doing what I can. Let's go to Battleground at number 4 here as the series continues to live on. Granit Gaming getting their first victory here as they grab one map. Fnatic up 2-1 as we head to Volskaya Foundry.
First time that Fnatic has first pick. If at the end of the day Fnatic takes the victory, there's no problem for them. But again, our eyes are on the match against Method on Sunday. That's when we came in, I talked about that game already, because with a loss against Team Liquid, we're still looking at 4 teams all the way up at the top that we expect to contest the offline events. Unless one of the dark horses makes it in and all of a sudden starts taking victories and creating some upsets, it's going to be all about Method, Dignitas, Fnatic, and Team Liquid. And they lost against Liquid already. If they also lose against Method, that's a massive issue for them. And for the other teams, that would be fantastic, because all of a sudden, you're starting to push Fnatic in a spot where they might not even make it to the offline event. So, dropping maps there is becoming a bit of a worry. But, well, if the results at the end of the day are there, then who are we to question that? Volskaya, on the other hand, that's going to be map number 4. Wasn't quite expected by most people that we would go into a 4th map, but Granit Gaming is doing well. And let's see if they can maybe do it a little bit better even and take a second map for the force a 5th game.
Who knows? This might be the push that Granit Gaming needed. Maybe here, they come out and get a reverse sweep. We'll see. Finding their first win always feels good when you're on a roster. So Tracer, first ban for Fnatic, Granit Gaming. Has been sticking so far with the Genji ban, and probably something you should consider banning here. You don't want to give Schwimpy a Genji, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's more so Tracer that I would be worried about, but Fnatic is already doing the honors of banning Tracer out instead. And there's Genji again. So outside of the Avatar ban that we saw in Sky Temple, which makes perfect sense from a macro perspective, we have those 2 banned out. And Rurel actually moves into first pick position. Then again, to be fair, this is one of the maps outside of Dragonshire where she probably is going to be the strongest, just simply because it's again about holding a point. And she is just extremely strong when it comes to those.
Every attribute of hers is perfect for this Battleground. Double soaking, being able to jump around the middle of a control point, lots of space to be able to dictate how you want to force engagements.
Sacred ground.
Yeah, sacred ground. Circle of happiness is what I call it. She's a happy goat. Tons of grass for her to eat.
Have you ever seen a sad goat? See?
Whoa. My first thing I think about is Taylor Swift and the goat singing the parts for her.
Of course, that's the first thing that you think about.
That's the first thing I think about when I think of other goats.
And you hear anything and you think Taylor Swift.
T-Swizzle, man. She likes Chipotle, you know? She's cool in my book. She's cool.
I don't even know what to say about that.
It's a fact. You can agree with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to fight it. That's cool. Just say it's cool.
It's cool. Just the fact that you know that worries me.
It's whatever, dude. She's a celebrity. People know stuff about you, Caldor. They know you're tan and bald. That's the same thing.
No way.
Yeah, they know, dude. They know. Malfurion and Hanzo picked up for Granit Gaming. Pretty typical. Wolf Joe on his Malfurion. Hanzo again played well by memecraft in Game 1 and Game 2. A couple of opportunities that he made for his team. A couple of opportunities missed out on as well.
Talking about opportunities and about things that we've seen and we haven't seen, one of the things that we haven't seen in this series and that I would expect to show up as a ban now is Blaze. Blaze wasn't picked yet, and he wasn't banned either. And that surprises me a lot considering how strong he was, but again, Rurel pushed into that position, so that immediately just pushes Blaze out slightly. But now that we're on Volskaya and Granit Gaming has not opted into going for a Malfurion Blaze rotation in their 1-2, I would expect Fnatic to ban out Blaze as the next hero. I could see Murden, on the other hand, for Fnatic right now, just picking up another very sustainable tank for themselves now that they have Rurel already. But again, Falstad. I'm not really sold on the Falstad players yet.
Yeah, give it to Mene. Maybe a little more week of practice. I don't know, man. The barrel rolls are way too aggressive. That one in particular in the top right corner still blows my mind on the night camp when they were looking for a kill on Tracer.
Yeah.
It felt so unnatural.
That was actually the barrel roll that also initiated
the boss.
The downfall, the entire downfall of Fnatic in that game. I feel a little bit too harsh at this point because Shrimpy stands out a bit since he's in the spotlight right now, and when he makes a mistake, or what seems as a mistake, since we can only, of course, judge from what we see and not from what we hear in communications, we point that out heavily. Then again, he is now in a spot where he has to shot call as well. And if you have already a global and you have to keep all of that in mind, and then shot call at the same time makes things a little bit more difficult for you. So I want to give him some slack on that end, but again, there's then the question, if you start having problems and you feel, okay, maybe it's a bit too much shot calling, playing the global and all of these aspects, then yes, as you said, maybe give it over to someone else and say like, okay, in this case now, we're rotating heroes a little bit, we're adjusting the pool that we play. When we have Falstad, we can still push it over to Mene and put Schwimpy on something else that is more part of the 4-man rotation,
Sure.
and therefore a little bit easier for him to just keep the global picture in mind and also do the shot calling.
For me, I like to focus on the positive here, and we get to see how vulnerable Falstad is, which makes us appreciate the other Falstad players like Snitch and Quacknix that have done really well in that role. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
That's a good way to look at it too, right?
I want to look at the positive and how squishy Falstad is and how good other Falstad players are in comparison to Schwimpy, who really sucks on the hero. That's
Whoa,
that's what you just said.
That is pushing it, my friend.
Okay, we're kidding by the way here. Okay, just
We love Schwimpy. We're just harsh.
Yeah.
He knows it. If he's upset with us, our DMs are always open. He can slide in if he needs to. We'll talk it out.
Garrosh band.
Yeah.
I really expected a Blaze band.
I prefer a Johanna ban.
I would have been
If
more.
you go tank route.
I mean, the problem with Garrosh is, once again, that he can really claim the space, and Decker doesn't have a lot of tools where he can save a target if it gets flipped.
But Johanna does it, and she gives you wave clear.
Yes.
I don't know.
Personally, I just think that Blaze is just going to be so powerful. So I really expected Blaze to be banned out.
You know
but they
what?
decided in favor of Garrosh, which is also fine, but it's interesting to see that Blaze just doesn't make an appearance today. The question for
Blaze
me
is
really
done. We forget the 10-second reduction on his bunker has gotten to a point where he's unplayable. Obviously.
Unplayable. I mean, there is the nerf.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even point it out because I feel while it has an effect,
Yeah. 10 seconds doesn't sound that insane.
yeah, you don't get. You still should have it available for every team fight. It would surprise me if that pushes him to the point where you don't have it available for a team fight. You won't be ending up in a situation where you can use it twice in a longer team fight that easily, but I still think it should be fine and give him enough value. Because it's not putting anything away from the wave clear that it has, from the solo lane pressure that you have with him, and especially on Volskaya, the bunker value is going to be great. So, yes, there is a bit more to the story with Blaze, but it surprised me that we don't see him at all. Him dropping in priority, I get that.
Sure.
Not appearing at all is weird.
Well, a new Brack and Phoenix comes online here for Granit Gaming.
Kidnap combo.
Stitches and Chromie.
Now that is going to become interesting though, because do you really go for Gorge here, Gorge Gust?
Is this Thrall for final pickup for Granit Gaming? Earthquake, Salvo, Engage, Poke.
That would now even more. Blaze is even more of a thought process for me now, because if you go into Temporal Loop, Blaze would be another tool that you have.
Do you have the hots for Blaze? Just be honest.
Yeah, I think Blaze is, I mean, we've seen him at the mid-season brawl. Since then, we had the ult change. Yes, the cooldown has increased, but just how dominant he was there.
I just wanted to make a pun, man.
I know that you did, but I still feel like it's also a valid argument.
Maybe you'll get it here.
But I get it. The hots for Blaze, hot,
Yeah,
haha,
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, no one has made that joke yet.
Yeah,
No one.
never heard that before.
9 seconds and counting.
Can you explain again? That just makes it.
They have the hots for Blaze too! It's getting lit up in here, as Blaze will be the 5th pick for Granite Gaming.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Go ahead.
No.
Say it. Let it out.
No, I'm fine.
You got nothing?
Hey, I got the irrelevant already today.
You're gonna let me win the pun war on Blaze?
I'm all out on puns.
You're not out of puns.
No, but it's already getting cringy, so I just want to take it away a little bit.
Not everything is cringe. Like, it's a moment of like, haha, it's not funny, but it's like entertaining in a different way.
I'm always funny.
Okay. Now it's
Even if I don't want
Now it's cringe. Now you destroyed it. All right, game 4 here. Between these two drafts, what do you like most?
I'm actually curious to see how Stitches is going to be played, because with Chromie, with Falstad, we usually see from Fnatic a bit of a kidnap combo. You get the hook, you get the gorge, opponent tries to move in, gust them away, isolate the target, take it down. But now when you play on Volskaya, I want to see Putrid Bile.
Yeah.
Volskaya is a map where I'm immediately thinking Putrid Bile. You go up against Blaze, that's also another hero where when he drops the bunker, you just pile up. and everybody comes out, you have more of a kill potential there. I still think from Fnatic from the past, we should see the Gorge Gust, but they have a bit of flexibility now. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. I'm not quite sure what to expect from this.
Well, let's go to game number 4 on the left side. In the blue, Fnatic. Mane to play Chromie. Schwimpy on Falstad. Breeze on Stitches. Last Hope on Urel. And Smexy to play Deckard.
Smexy on the old man is to the right side with one map taken. We have now Granit Gaming with Memecraft on Hanzo. We're currently seeing Darkmog on Blaze, Wolfjaw on the support, this time on the Furion, Raid Boss on the Nubrak for the Engage, and Nanda on Phoenix. Granit Gaming with a win against Fnatic, that's fantastic for them. For their map score, that's going to be great. That's a good start. Ideally, of course, they would force Fnatic into a 5th and final map here, and that's what they're going to try now. They definitely have the Engage through a Nubarak to try and look for kills here. We have also Cocoon, of course, which can be pretty fantastic depending on how Fnatic runs this. It's another argument against Gorge, by the way.
Yeah.
Running Cocoon here with a Nubarak, so we could definitely see Pretty File, even though the Gorge Gust is an option. And Schwimpy is just not having a good day. Schwimpy again targeted here and immediately taken on, but this time not falling in the counter kill. And maybe even a double as Wolfjaw gets hooked just after Nubarak dies.
And the bird becomes a worm as he baits in. Granit Gaming gets the barrel roll out, and Fnatic turns it around and gets some kills.
I'm so proud of you. That was actually really good.
Thank you.
The bird becomes the worm and baits Granit Gaming into an engage that is a little bit too aggressive, and the double kill as a result. But yeah, it looked close. Schwimpy nearly fell in that last engage, but it worked out for them. He's of course going to play a crucial part after level 10 when we have that Mighty Gust available for him. Yeah, but Granit Gaming definitely... I mean, they're spicing things up a little bit. You can definitely tell that the last game gave them a bit more confidence, and they were immediately trying to translate that into a few kills early on, which would have been great for them. Doesn't quite work out, but Fnatic doesn't gain enough control out of it to claim additional items. We're still early on in the game, so the death timers were still very, very low.
Now, part of the reason why we had those kills come in is due to Chromie. Mane making sure to land those beautiful Sand Blasts. He's already hitting 7 so far, but mostly it was that Dragon's Breath connecting on 2 members, allowing for them to blow up a target. So watch out for Mane on that Chromie. Typically on this battleground, why you see here on this battleground is you're able to stack up easily around the control points. And also, if you do lose a Protector, she'll be able to stack up on that Protector, something that we see pretty often.
Yeah. Goat Girl on her way in the middle now. It was an attempted gank against her that didn't quite work out. Just a bit too tanky, and also, of course, always able to move away. Schwimpy again. They're really trying to take him down now. Every time they're targeting Schwimpy here, and he was playing on point in this case. Barrel rolling away just as Malfurion is attempting to lock him in place. If that root connects, he's in trouble.
That he is. So far holding on though. Fnatic dealing with the pressure of Granit Gaming coming in. Pyromanic even being used. Darkmark wants to commit to this. Falstad has not moved at all, indicated he's coming up to here. So the call has been made. Give it up. Yep. But we did have Fnatic grab the point and drop down the healing pulse, so they will not have that for the control point.
Yeah, Last Hope was forced to drop it there in the end, so Granit Gaming at least making sure that that is not an item they have to deal with. But look at the experience. That's a bit of an issue. Now, Granit Gaming is going to catch up slightly because we're having Blaze making the rotations, and now there's some waves pushing in against Granit Gaming's walls. But still, that's a solid advantage that Fnatic has already established early on in this game.
Yeah.
And I also want to highlight that we have for Stitches, again, a full sustain build. So going into the amplified healing after the Regeneration Master, and that is going to keep him alive in a lot of these instances here. It's definitely going to be tricky for Granit Gaming to confirm a kill.
This build is ridiculous with Deckard Cain. With him topping out the potions consistently, Breeze feels like he will not be able to fall. You become incredibly tanky with that amplified healing coming in. Right now you'll see the potions being tossed on him, and look, as he's taking hits from 3 to 4 members, he's still over 3/4 health.
Yeah, Mane does not quite have the same health pool though, so he needs to be cautious as he's being attacked. But we still have 2 heroes split off the mid lane. To the top, Falstad is pressuring the lane out, and at the bot lane we have Urel. So there's again experience being gathered as Granit Gaming is attempting to get the lead at the objective, but the rotation already happening as Last Hope joins the fight, and we can still see the transition from Schwimpy at any point.
They're playing to level 7. 7's where you make that play for the control point, and the moment they hit it, they all move towards the middle here. Now, Falstad can still fly in at any point, but Fnatic controls it well, and they'll be able to start grabbing their own percentage. Granit Gaming, during that transition, however, were able to grab 56% out of the 100 they need.
Also, they got K now, Smexy with Emerald on level 7, so he's really looking to get the healing reduction in through the Heraldric Cube, and that's going to be important, especially if Malfurion is thinking about Tranquility. And that is always a great tool when you want to sustain your team in an objective phase, and you're trying to go for the point, but it's also really easy then to land in a Heraldric Cube with Deckard, so it's a great pickup for them.
Snitch gets engaged upon.
I doubt that because Dignitas is not playing here. Bodied! Granit Gaming moving away from the point.
Why did I say Snitch?
I have no idea, but it was actually funny. 82% for Fnatic, and nice setup here. But as Darkmog is dropping low, and good damage output of Monster Main, the hook is in, and the Bug barely moving away. The Beetle being followed as Last Hope is trying to create a kill opportunity against Wolfjo here.
Wolfjo has to back out, so two bruised members of Granit Gaming will back up, and Breeze just steps forward and controls this point. Fnatic is able to grab the Protector.
Protector number 1. Granit Gaming at least made up for the experience lead that Fnatic established earlier. But now we have Mena also completing his level 1, and this should push Fnatic pretty heavily forward. They already dropped the 2 turrets in the mid lane. So the idea is, of course, to drop the wall top and then take the well out so that you have a nice setup for the second objective. But with how healthy the Protector is, if they have a chance of maybe even getting the fort here. But then again, they have Forza at the bot lane, they have Urel at the bottom, so there's no double soaking happening through their solo laner. So that makes it a little bit less likely that they can commit to the fort too.
Well, immediately deleted here. There we go. Memecraft ever continue to poke away, and I want to mention he finished the Scatter Arrow quest early with that level 1, which has been pretty helpful in terms of popping out the damage. Right now, looking into him, he has been keeping it up here, about 13k damage so far, the highest in the game. Granted, it's early. But something to note is that he is landing these Scatter Arrows. A little bit hard in this battleground, actually, due to the fact that you have really open lanes, but him finding those fights on the transition of people moving into those lanes, able to find some pokes, so good for him. 10 hitting soon for both of our teams. Fnatic just now nails it.
24 stacks on Chromie. We have 17 on the Season Marksman for Shrimpy, 13 for Stitches on his Regeneration Master. So all of the heroes doing fairly well with the stacking, considering that we're only 6.5 minutes into the game. 10 is there, Putrefile is taken. And again, a lot of this comes down to the Anubarak pick. If you have Anubarak against you and you try to go for the Gorge and Gust, all that he has to do is drop a good Cocoon and the entire setup is already ruined. And of course the map here also highlights Putrefile even more, especially with Blaze, who, by the way, holds... okay, just for a second is ult. Would have been interesting if it would actually deter Blaze players to... like the increase on the cooldown would deter Blaze players to go away from Bunker and head into Combustion. Yeah, but Bunker is still a fantastic tool. And again, the map, of course, and the objective in particular really caters towards Bunker as a tool, and that's what they're going to use here.
One day I hope to get Combustion, though, just because it looks cool.
Alex, when the hero came out, was one of the players that was highly in favor of Combustion and felt that it would offer more than Bunker before everyone kind of discovered how to play with Bunker properly.
I feel like you could say that for any heroic where you're just like, I wish I saw more of this heroic. Alex actually played it for a little bit and it almost worked.
The thing is, oftentimes he's right, though.
Yeah, he has
So when it comes to builds in particular, he usually has a pretty good eye, same as Wooby. Both of them are usually the ones that are setting at least the early meta.
Yeah.
Before then everybody starts to adapt and see, okay, do we have to reevaluate the talents that we're taking? So when it comes to early talent builds for a new hero or for a reworked hero, both of them are usually doing really fine. But in this case, he actually picked the wrong one. But that's, I was just mentioning it because I could see him being the one who now all of a sudden says, in this case, I actually think I'm getting more out of Combustion now, given a certain team composition.
Totally. Well, 12.25 here for Fnatic as they move towards 12.5. Just working on level 13 before the next control point. They've already cleared out the well, so they are in a great position to be able to win that control point and get the second protector of the game. Granit Gaming will have to make something happen soon to prevent that from happening. Dragon Zero into a fight is always good for them if they can find a spot where Fnatic is starting to clump up.
Fnatic is just looking so good right now. 2 kills against Zero, nearly level 13. Breeze had to pop Vile though because we are seeing a setup against him. That is actually not helping. The Cocoon here allows Shrimpy to go in. Here comes the arrow from Hanzo, and Shrimpy doesn't even have to use Gust.
And Smexy comes over and says, hey, shh, go to sleep, Hanzo. Hanzo gets cleansed, however, he does not fall asleep. And Nervarak turns around for the Bro Charge, but the mighty Gust will keep Smexy alive while the Salvo comes out.
Yeah, Last Hope is jumping in, so that flank attempt from Smexy and Mena turned nearly against them. But again, the Cocoon in this case was a bit of a liability, more so that it was an asset, because Granit Gaming, yes, they had the time to move in and defend, but the same was also true for Fnatic, who just gusted in the end. And yeah, they are looking pretty strong right now with the level 13, so that's definitely a fight that they want to take now.
Soap stands up and tries to scare Raid Boss away before possibly knocking him away. Able to get the point here as a controller. Granit Gaming close to 13 themselves. They'll have Blaze in the bottom lane to clear that up, and they can move in and force a fight in about 20 seconds. They'll still be missing Salvo, but at least they'll have Dragon's Arrow. So for now, they're setting up for that potential engage, which should be coming in about a minute.
Yeah, they're definitely going to contest it. They have their level 13 talents, so now they can start to move in. It also means that we're having Ice Block from Malfurion, so he can start dodging either a combo of Chromie or the hook when it comes out from Stitches, if that hits the back line. But the rotation has to be there. And I love that Granit Gaming makes the decision to go for the camp now, because that secures them a second turret and nearly a kill, as Breeze was anticipating that already. But Raid Boss, of course, has his escape tool still and uses it to immediately move away.
Any other hero that may have been a kill. Even Phoenix, he goes for the teleport over, currently gets all that up in the combo. Dark Mob taking some pressure on the top though, needs to be healed up, and there's no time. Oh my gosh! Phoenix gets blown up as Chromie able to land the combo.
Yeah, that was well done here. Already Granit Gaming a bit too late with the rotation to the top, so the Protector was claimed. Especially since Last Hope dominated that space and forced Blaze out of it. But then, of course, the insta-kill here through the Chromie combo. That was really well done, and Fnatic just on the warpath now, taking the Protector, getting another kill, moving to the middle and trying to take the fort, but still losing Falstad at the top.
Gamecraft able to land that arrow, locking him down. Twimpy gets taken out. Fort in the middle cleaned up, so at least 2 forts down. They can make a play for the third one here. Didn't clear out that well, but they don't need to worry about that quite yet. They just need to worry about keeping this thing nice and healthy. And they'll intend to break it open this wall, but Granit Gaming is chasing the Protector down, wanting to clear it up.
Granit Gaming just has the ability to always find a kill. They're really, really good at that, to sniff an opportunity out where they can set up a kill somewhere on the map. They've showcased that against Method just last week when they were talent down, especially on Battlefield of Eternity, were able to find good flanks, a good kill. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're making their way back into a game or that they're able to win the team fight, but it always keeps them on the edge of coming back into it, and that is something, that's a pretty good quality to have in a team. So they're using that against Fnatic now too, but we have Falstad going in again. Raid Boss barely escaping here. Odelsi gets knocked down by Deckard for a second, and there comes the Stale while listen. Last Hope is trying to set something up. They go for Nande. And Urel still in a bit of trouble here. Might actually have picked a little bit too much. Arrow again from Memecraft. And Last Hope is low. Putrid Ball comes out. Urel jumps out. And Smexy is also a bit low, but again the hook comes through, and that fight is not over by a long shot. Darkbook even re-engaging here as well with the jet propulsion.
The slowing stand is making it very annoying, and Uber actually gets picked up on the top right corner. Chromie able to land that shot. A second one comes out too. Mene is destroying people as he continues to snipe. Even a Sandblast on Minecraft here as well has that bronze talent to be able to proc for Darkbook as he turns around, and Chromie continues to shell away. Falstad is able to find a kill on Blaze, but Wolfjo will be the last to be picked off.
Urel and Stitches confirming another kill, and that was an insane fight. It just lasted ages, and Fnatic didn't lose a single hero. It really looked for a long time as if Deckard or Urel or even Falstad would fall, but that was not the case. Instead, they grabbed 4 kills, and they're trying to make that a 5th now as they're attempting to find Memecraft, and yeah, they find him easily, make it a full team wipe. Fnatic now with 2 levels ahead, 17 against 15, 8 kills against 1. An immediate move towards the camps on the map, trying to not only take the healing pulse, the biotic emitter at the top, but also already attempting to claim the turret of Granit Gaming here at the bottom of the map.
Grabbing all the items. That'll be a turret. One more available on the left side. The pulse scrub at the top, as you just mentioned. And you can also see down this fort here in the bottom right. At least get the well, too, before this control point is available for the big game, which should be soon. And they are well on their way towards level 20. As they continue to siege away. Hook comes out. It's that fishing hook, by the way. Not able to land it on Dark Mach, but Nande getting a little bit aggressive here, trying to put some damage out. Needs to be careful as 16 just connects.
Yeah, so 16 puts Granit Gaming in a spot where they can take team fights easily again. But it's really this item dominance that we see from Fnatic that is the biggest problem, since they are currently holding on to not only a biotic emitter, but also 3 turrets. That makes the next objective nearly unwinnable for Granit Gaming, since they don't hold any items whatsoever. If Fnatic doesn't make a mistake that Granit Gaming can punish, if Granit Gaming doesn't find an opportunity to get a quick kill, then it's going to be very, very tough to take that objective, especially now since Volstad has also completed his season marksman and can put even more pressure onto those frontline heroes.
I think Granit Gaming needs a flank, and I'm thinking about it too. Raid Boss coming in, looking to maybe move in and drop the cocoon on a target. Main issue though is Mighty Gus is there at any point to stop it.
It's not only the Gust, it's also the time traps that make it difficult. Well, that's not the only thing. Here comes the arrow. That's a decent arrow. The problem is that Darkmog is still completely locked down here. Putrid Bile is being used. He's trying to jet propulsion away, but this is not looking pretty for Granit Gaming.
No, Malfurion's way too low, trying to bring out the heals, even getting the healing coming in from Fnatic. Wolfjo finally is about to fall down here. The ice block comes out, but it's not in time. Raidbot picked up 2. Last Hope continues to keep jumping on its targets. Nande gets knocked to the back line, and that's going to be 3 kills for Fnatic.
Fnatic is just bullying Granit Gaming at this point. The last game really made them mad, apparently. 11 kills against 1, 19 versus 16, a 3-level lead, and that doesn't even account for the Protector that we're going to see any second now for Fnatic. The level 20 is looming on the horizon too, and Fnatic is already opening up the bottom lane wall with 4 heroes as Urel holds the point. They are definitely going to look to end the game here.
There goes the turret, there goes the gate. A little bit more damage on this keep that they would like. Granit Gaming is about to spawn. So may have to play a little bit more hesitant until that Protector comes up, but with Blaze being in the top lane, Fnatic not under any pressure of being picked off. Finally will back up.
Yeah, Shrimpy has also still Gust ready, so that's another quick tool that they could use whenever need be, when they need to disengage here, when an arrow comes flying and they feel that they have to disengage for that. But the 20 is in. They're going to get that Protector as well. There's another hook. Immediately Raid Boss moves away. That already means he can't re-engage into the fight and try and set something up here. Protector is confirmed. And that should be all she wrote here. I mean, Granit Gaming, they need a fantastic flank to get that kill. 3 levels behind, Storm Talon behind, and against the Protector?
Yeah.
Good luck stopping that.
Well, they're going to try. Web comes out. It is on Stitches going for the back line. Arrow comes out. They do lock down Falstad. Sayo while listening does pop out. Shwimpy turns around and looks at Memecraft. The heals continually to come out from Smexy, and they get Raid Boss. Nande will be next as well. Blaze to be falling after Wolfjo gets cleaned up. Shwimpy still eventually falls, but at least he gets a wind tunnel out so they can focus down Blaze.
The bird is down again. There's chicken for dinner, but we have also Dartmoor cooked again as the Protector says, you know what, boys? I'm done with this. Let's finish this. Moves in and starts to take
No,
the
come
key.
back. Stay a while and help me with this Blaze. As the Jet Propulsion comes out, puts a little bit more damage on him. The keep will fall on the bottom right, but Fnatic, as you mentioned, makes a death march for the core.
Yeah, and there's just no way to stop them. With only 2 heroes on the map and another 15 seconds until Anubarak is back, this is just absolutely not going to happen here. Fnatic will walk away with a 3-1 victory here. Goes straight for the core on Volskaya, and they are going to claim this series. Memecraft is doing what he can, but Breeze already has him low, is trying to connect another hook. That doesn't happen, but the core is down. GG and game as we see Fnatic claiming a 3-1 victory against Granit Gaming.
Game 4 felt more like what I expected from Fnatic today in the entire series.
Yes.
A little bit more control, maybe a couple arrows here and there, but they fought the fights that they wanted, and the macro still allowed for them to get the engagements they wanted. I wanted to see that a little bit more on Dragonshire and Sky Temple in particular, but hey, they delivered in Game 4 and they get the 3-1 victory.
And also, Shwimpy again with 2 deaths. I'm actually wondering if they targeted him specifically.
Yeah.
Because we talked a lot about him being the leader for the team, and always the question, what happens when things don't really go their way, since in the past Shwimpy has been an emotional player. So you could really just like try to trigger someone where you know there's a lot of responsibility on the shoulders. Definitely a bit of a rougher day for Fnatic. They get the 3-1, but let's be blunt. If they want to take down Method, they have to step it up.
Yeah, and that'll be on Sunday. We'll be watching that matchup. They'll have a couple days to recuperate, make sure that's set up here. They could have been holding back a little bit, obviously. There should be some scenarios here where they're playing, okay, let's do a macro game. We'll focus on that, not show any plays that we want to have on Sunday, because today's drafts were way less varied compared to what we saw against Team Liquid, where they seemed to pull everything out against their opponent. So lots of things could be coming on Sunday, but regardless, big victory coming in. Granit Gaming, on the other hand, looks a little bit more stable. Memecraft not looking as nervous as he was last week, because I felt like last week there were a couple moments where he stepped out of position, and it just felt like it was impossible for his team to win team fights.
I think, again, it comes down, you said it, lack of experience maybe a bit, and also nervousness. That's not something that he didn't look like he had that problem today. It looked really solid. They got a lot of good wins, good kills here. And of course, the map win is really important for them. So that's already a good step into the right direction. If they can follow that up with a few match wins, that would be fantastic for them. Weekend is going to be super important for Fnatic in particular, but also for Granit Gaming here. And Yeah, the one thing that still feels weird to me is that some of the double global players were just not where I expected them to be for Fnatic now. Now, we might go into this a little bit too deep. We can talk about that in an interview in a second hour as well. But of course, it's not only about looking at the series, at the isolated series, but also with the upcoming matches in mind.
Double global, something that feels like it's a Fnatic special. I thought it would kind of go away with Quacknix leaving the team, but it seems like they still want to try and continue to play that type of strategy. Just not fully panning out the way they were expecting today. Now, someone else that I want to call out today on Granit Gaming before we do move over to the interviews with Fnatic is Raid Boss. I feel like we need to see a little bit more on this guy on carry tanks. I mean, Stitches, he looked pretty exceptional on 2 minutes Spider Queen. They didn't get the victory there, but he is willing to set up his team for victory, and I think they should build around him a little bit more.
Yeah, he tried to really do that also on the last map. Didn't really work out the same way because Fnatic was more ready for the engages that we saw, and they put a lot of pressure onto him where he had to burn his burrow charge early to get out of a fight, and then it wasn't cooldown when they got a hook in, for example. So they always kept him in a pretty awkward spot where he couldn't really get the setups that he wanted to.
Sure.
He played very well around the cocoon too, as we saw. And it made it. The idea was for them really to just set up fights and go for a quick flank and maybe get an easy kill there, and that most of the time didn't quite work out against Fnatic.
Now, Yorel also was on display today. We saw her first pick a couple times, even banned a little bit here and there. Is Yorel a hero that we're going to see this entire weekend? It seems like it. The immediate engages, being able to jump in. I like the idea of hooking somebody in, Yorel jumping behind them, and then knocking them in the target. That happened to Blaze multiple times, and Blaze, even dropping the bunker, still got picked off.
I mean, traditionally what we're going to see is a lot of teams focusing this weekend on Yorel, and she might then, in that sentence, be a little bit overhyped or overplayed.
Sure.
And then we might see adjustments in the week after. But right now, the teams are going to try and figure that out. But I would definitely say she contests one of the top spots for the solo lane now. You still have, with the Haka, the added value of the global that you can't just simply ignore.
Sure.
It's always going to be there. And then in certain scenarios, I would say Blaze is still going to be superior to her. But I mean, she's fantastic for holding positions. She's great on the solo lane now. So I think we're going to see a lot of Yorel now.
You mentioned you think Blaze might be a little bit superior to Yorel. Why do you think that? Because of the bunker being available for team fights?
Yeah, I think in the big team fight, I mean, Yorel also offers a lot of that.
Sure.
But at the same time, the bunker, the armor advantage that you get, that you can cleanse out an isolation and that you can dodge a salvo, those are aspects that Yorel just doesn't bring. So depending what your opponent runs and what map you're on, I think bunker can still be the superior tool, even though we had the cooldown increase.
I just feel like Yorel might be taking over the Sonya spot a little bit, just a bit of a bully in terms of lane, being able to jump around how she wants. Sure, it's more mobility based than pure damage, but her being able to kind of dictate how the lane goes, but also post 7 get the Divine Steed and force that in 2 different lanes is a pretty scary thing to deal with.
It's still my favorite talent.
Divine Steed?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's just an instant mount, man. Like I feel like that will be the next spot that we see get targeted if Yorel is to get nerfed anyway, just because of how strong that level 7 is. It's so annoying to deal with.
Divine Steed, going a little bit off from heroes, actually reminds me, I mean, that's obviously where it's coming from. Diablo 3 when you play a Paladin.
Yeah.
It's just super fun to just like zip around the entire time, and some of the builds that were there at the beginning, which is like about having massive mobility, and that's exactly what it feels like using it with her now.
Now, we're still waiting on our interview for our players. It seems like we're a little bit delayed here. But again, if you guys enjoyed today, Yorel coming out, let us know on Twitter. We want to talk to you guys. Heroes Esports, hashtag HGC. If you don't want to tag that, you can tag me or you can tag Caldor as well. We're always down to talk about the matches. We love talking about them.
Also, another thing that I want to highlight is that Open Division has now started. We had the first tournament, and of course, you can still participate in the upcoming ones. So if you want to do that, if you want to have a shot at making it into HGC, then check out heroeshype.com/EU Open. So that's heroeshype.com/EU Open. You're going to find all of the information there. And we already have some pretty fantastic teams in the Open Division, especially now that ePunks picked up the team around Lauber and Grand Paquette with Sonic Le Beast, Rosmek, and Cass. They won the first cup without dropping a single map. They looked extremely dominant there, and they are going to be now known as ePunks Black.
Yeah.
So putting the fear into the hearts of the opponents, and already doing pretty well. Not quite MVP Black, but they didn't drop a single map, so that's a good
Our Crucible teams better be scared of that team, because they look dominant, that is for sure.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think whoever is going to be in the Crucible from HGC is going to have an incredible tough time beating those guys, because they are hungry, they are incredibly ambitious, and they have the work ethic as well.
And they have players that have been in the HGC.
Yes.
They want back.
Experience is there too, so beating them in the Crucible is going to be a massive problem. So I expect that they are going to do extremely well throughout all of the cups. And I mean, of course, they can all. It's always that something can happen. Maybe on a personal level, that's all of a sudden a problem, and then the synergy falls apart. But outside of that, I think they are more or less already a team that is going to make it into the Crucible and contest an HGC spot. But then again, once the playoffs start, anything can happen. You know, you have a bad day. Yeah. Someone is sick, so don't want to call it just yet. But there's some extremely competitive teams in Open Division.
And the Crucible can be a kind of any given Sunday kind of scenario, right?
Yeah.
You have to show up on that day.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and talk about here in HGC though a little bit. Fnatic and their future schedule. What matches are important to them? Which ones they have to earn victories on? As it looks like this is their next few matches. On Sunday, as mentioned, we will have Method facing off Houston. That's a big one for them. They've already had a major loss already against Team Liquid. It was a 3-2 though, so scoring some of those map wins, equally as important.
The score definitely matters a lot. Again, we're not only talking about the Western Clash, we're also talking about BlizzCon. This is what we're fighting for right now. And that's why every single one of these maps matter. And there might be people out there that don't think that a single map can really make all the difference here. But every phase that we had so far, we ended up in tiebreaker scenarios where the maps and the map score alone determined which team would either have a better playoff position or even make it to an event. So that's super important to consider here. And losing a map to Granit Gaming is definitely a bit of a setback for Fnatic after they already lost to Team Liquid. But as you said, winning those 2 maps against Team Liquid, that was an important one. But it would be a problem for Fnatic if they would now lose to Method as well. And Method is looking strong. They're looking very, very strong.
I mean, you already touched upon it, how important it is for standings and where you need to be at for BlizzCon. But also, there is an element that if Europe does not win the Western Clash, that means we'll only send 2 teams, not 3. So even more important for those standings. Now, you do smile a little bit because...
Don't be silly.
I know. But it is something that teams need to worry about, right? You need to be up in the higher levels of those standings to make sure that you can go to BlizzCon, especially if we don't get that 3rd slot. So things to consider. All right, guys, that's going to be it here. It looks like we were unable to get the Skype interview. We'll be right back with more games right after this commercial break.
Just moving in, going straight for that. Breeze is being attacked here. Here comes Deckard. Nice, mouth with the silence, but Breeze should be fine. Pops the Avatar, the salvo does not do enough. Jumps in deep and misses the Stormbolt. Rewind comes through, gets the second one in. Already 1 kill against Phoenix, and they're trying to make it a double. Hanzo goes down, and there's the triple as Urel is dead. And then you're moving back in a straight line. But still, like, Rakeboss is taking those opportunities and he gets them. But in this case, he might actually fall. The 10 is there. Sundering, whiffed, and down goes Stitches. The arrow is in, though, and that's the end of Smexy.
But Granite are able to get Rhaegar back. Last Hope goes in, diving on top of Memecraft. Memecraft trying to do his best here to poke where he can. The Ardent Defender comes out to try and keep him alive, but they stop attacking him, so he's going to yield up. Last Hope trying to buy as much as he can, but he gets picked off as well. Granite Gaming finds a 2, but with Odin coming out, they're trying to take down Darkmark. If they can kill him, that's 36 gems. There he goes, he falls. Memecraft trying to get over there to grab those gems.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that's going to work out for them. Memecraft didn't get them. Wolfjaw has 27 now, though. Not quite the same amount, but Chromie gets body block on Dam, and that's the kill. Shrimpy takes him down.
Done. This is looking like it might just be game. Shrimpy steps up with the rest of his crew, and then goes straight to the core.
Yeah, this is bad news right here. All the keeps are down. The Horrify comes through. They're going for Raid Boss, and he goes down. Stitches eliminated. And we are seeing Fnatic starting to walk towards that core. Odin is still active. They're trying to go for the second kill, and Darkmark is obliterated by a fellow off.
Odin is just absolutely bonkers in the late game, and you see it here as 3 fall. Last Hope able to jump around, find those kills, a total of 4 being picked off.
And Darkmark is starting to go in. Now there's the Jack, immediate damage. Cleanse comes out. Darkmark trying to go for Shrimpy here. Already we're having a kill against Tassadar, completing the Season Marksman as well, giving him a bit more damage output here on the burst. Shrimpy's already using that against the Auric. But that initial kill was all that Fnatic needed. They're full on the chase now.
And those Giants still pushing in the bottom lane. They're starting to group up a pretty massive wave. Drag comes out on the York, which is who you want to go down there and clear that out. Leo being down.
Fucking around, trying to see if he can get an engage here. They're moving in. Here comes the pulse bomb. Nene is low, but he's not falling. Again, they're going for the Auric here. Falstad is back. He's going to fly in any second right now. And the boss is still up. They're going for it. And Shrimpy should be here in time.
Yep, Smex is kiting away. Darkmark tries to get some damage in, but the boss is grabbed. Shrimpy just now flies in. They're looking for the core here. Now Murden will be able to go back and buy some time. The rest of Fnatic needs to buy time here on the bottom left. The boss moves in. Granite Gaming has to go over there now. Falstad's working those auto attacks, getting it low. It's down to 60. It's down to 50. Falstad still has full health. It's going to be close here as all the members of Granit Gaming are on the boss. One will fall as a reset comes in. Lee Ming tries to go for Tracer. He gets the second one. 8% to 20, and Granit Gaming are able to get a win.
A little bit too much arrow again from Minecraft. And last hope is low. Putrid Ball comes out. Urel jumps out. Snexy is also a bit low, but again the hook comes through, and that fight is not over by a long shot. Dartmok even re-engaging here as well with the jet propulsion.
The slowing Sand is making it very annoying. Newberger just picked up on the top right corner. Chromie able to land that shot. A second one comes out too. Mene is destroying people as he continues to snipe. Even a Sandblast on Minecraft here as well has that bronze talent available too. Proc for Darkspawn as he turns around, and Chromie continues to shell away. Falstad is able to find a kill on Blaze, but Wolfjo will be the last to be picked off.
The Putrid Ball is being used. He's trying to jet propulsion away, but this is not looking pretty for Granit Gaming.
No, Malfurion's way too low, trying to bring out the heals, even getting the healing coming in from Fnatic. Wolfjo finally is about to fall down here. The ice block comes out, but it's not in time. Raidbot picked up 2. Last Hope continues to keep jumping on its targets. Nande gets knocked to the back line, and that's going to be 3 kills.
Copying that.
Oh, they're going to try. Web comes out. It is on Stitches going for the back line. Arrow comes out. They do lock down Falstad. Sayo while listening does pop out. Shwimby turns around and looks at Minecraft. The heals continually to come out from Snexy, and they get Raid Boss. Nande will be next as well. Blaze to be falling after. Wolfjo gets cleaned up. Shwimby still eventually falls, but at least he gets a wind tunnel out so they can focus down Blaze.
It goes straight for the core on Volskaya, and they are going to claim this series. Minecraft is doing what he can, but Grease on.